Longinus, the spear. If you're familiar with Christianity, the name Longinus might ring a bell. That was the name given to the Roman soldier that speared Jesus Christ in the ribs while he hung on the cross. Some Christians believe that Longinus was unredeemable. Others believe that on that day, Longinus was baptized in the blood of Christ, reborn as a Christian, and would later become a saint. In Far Cry 4, Longinus is known as the Preacher, a fitting name for a character that's on a mission to redeem his soul. As AJ, you assist Longinus with locating blood diamonds throughout the snowy hills and deep valleys of Kyrat, a fictional country in the Himalayan mountains. And in return, Longinus provides weapons of war, a contradiction at first, but will later make much more sense. AJ is tasked to recover blood diamonds from Pagan Min's royal army, a faction loyal to the dictator that rules with an iron fist and flaming charisma. Longinus sends you on 4 missions, and through your interactions you learn Longinus is a complex character that is clearly battling demons from his past. As you help him recover these blood diamonds, you get a better understanding of what led him to this point.
After this, the judgment. They lied to you. You know this. People call it the circle of life, but life is built on a pile of bones. You eat or you are eaten. Animals call it survival. Humans call it business.
Are those...
Business, AJ. Terrible business.
Just like the Roman soldier who speared Jesus Christ and was later given the name Longinus, Longinus from Far Cry 4 was known by a different name, known as a different man who lived a different life, a life of sin. In Far Cry 2, which takes place in UAC, an unidentified African country, you come across Kawasi, a warlord that uses blood diamonds to fund his reign of terror during the bloody civil war in his country. In Far Cry 2, you're given the objective to murder him, and even though he tries to persuade you with money and women, he eventually pulls a gun and tries to kill you. Instead, you shoot him dead, or so we thought. It is said that on that day he was reborn, baptized in the waters of Goka Falls by priest Malia. Because nobody believed that he was born again, he left his country to search for those blood diamonds he profited off of, in order to redeem himself in God's eyes.
I was saved by a bullet to the head. It killed the old me, the terrible me, one you would have called a warlord. But that bullet, it made a hole in my skull that allowed the light of God to slip in, and I was baptized by the waters of Goka Falls.
So those diamonds...
Leviticus 17:11. For it is the blood that makes an atonement for the soul. These are remnants of my past transgressions. Each diamond is a sin, and my hands have committed many.
Searching for the blood diamonds he once sold, Longinus soon found himself in the middle of another civil war, and this time he decided to sell weapons to those who were fighting for their freedom, instead of profiteering off the struggles of the people like he once did when he lived as a man Kawasi. In the end, it makes sense that these two characters are one and the same, given the name Longinus and the lore behind it. A man with no name, reborn through Christ. But unlike the Roman soldier, who would later become a saint, Longinus' fate in the Far Cry series is yet to be written. His search for those blood diamonds is not yet complete. His mission to redeem his soul is sending him across the world. After the blood diamonds were recovered in Kyrat, and Longinus' missions were complete, he tells AJ that he's leaving these lands, and AJ asks where he would go.
It is finished. My work here is done, and now the Lord is calling me elsewhere.
Where to?
South America, I think. Or perhaps Cuba. There are still many sins for me to atone for. Thank you, AJ. Thank you for showing me that there are still true believers willing to do righteous work. It is a debt that will not be forgotten. I have left you something as a token of have my gratitude. Mark 16, verse 15. And he said unto them, Go forth into the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole of creation. Go forth now, AJ, and preach your own sermons.
So it's safe to assume that the next time we see Longinus will be in Far Cry 6, where we, as Danny, will continue to assist him in his search for blood diamonds, in return for supplying the resistance with weapons of war. Will Longinus' soul finally be redeemed in Cuba, or will God continue to test his faith?